I'm back with another episode of Reading the Oscars. Today we're talking about Frankenstein. So the number one difference between the book and the movie of Frankenstein is the characterization of the monster. For better or worse, Del Toro's monster was way more innocent and less violent and extreme than Mary Shelley's. This also means that Del Toro's Frankenstein was way worse than Mary Shelley's was, which just shows to show how different the themes are. While Del Toro's was more focused on forgiveness and generational trauma, Mary Shelley's was more about parenthood, responsibility, and abandonment. And the question then becomes, does this change fundamentally change the story? I've come to the conclusion that yes, it does fundamentally change the story because the themes were so drastically different. Another thing that they changed is that they added a love story with Elizabeth and the monster and also sort of Frankenstein. I don't know how to feel about it. To me, it feels super reminiscent of The Shape of Water, which by the way is one of my favorite films, so I'm not knocking it by any means, but it felt almost too similar to that in the fact that it's like, did we really need the extra like added love story? I don't really know. I don't really think it added anything to it, and the whole point in the book is that like the monster kills Elizabeth before her and Frankenstein are going to get married. So her being killed randomly just goes to show how different the characterization of the creature is in both of the mediums. There are also things in the movie that I liked better than I did in the book. For example, I feel like there was more time taken with Frankenstein creating the monster, and I really loved that. I loved being able to see like the gory details of all of that, and I think that was a really good like addition. I also think the scene where he comes in when they're on the ship and he's like, "Let me tell my story," was absolutely iconic. And it does stick to the same beats that the book does too, because the book sort of has that like dual perspective. And so I thought that was a really good addition and a really good way to show the same thing that is happening in the book. It was a very loose adaptation, but I also want to say that I really liked this movie. I think that, yes, the movie and the book were ultimately very different. I still really like them both. To me, they're almost like completely different stories. So it's extremely hard to compare them in that respect. And I also am a really big Del Toro fan. So it could be part of that. And I just really like a lot of the visual things that were happening too. The only visual thing that I didn't like is I did not like the design of the monster. I do not think that he was ugly enough. And near the end of the film, to me, he just looked like Jacob Elordi with like face paint on and not really like a monster or a creature. And I wish that he was like a little bit uglier. I am very curious to see if anyone else has any opinions that they want to share. So, bye.